guys, my name is Second Lieutenant Samantha Waltz and I'm a pilot in the United States Air Force. So currently I'm a student pilot, which means I'm in the middle of class. So just like you guys, I'm in class. So this class for me is about 7 months long and I'm learning how to fly what's called the T6. And the T6 is a trainer aircraft that's designed to be able to do barrel rolls, loops, split S's, all kinds of crazy spins. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, so I'm doing that for 7 months, and once I learn how to fly that, then I go into either the T1 or the T38. The T1 is for cargo, like big cargo and jet refueling, tanker refueling type aircraft, and the T38 is for fighter jets and bombers and all the ones that go really fast, the stealth fighter jet type airplanes. And it's a lot of fun. I personally would like to fly the T1 because I want to be a cargo pilot. I just like the heavy airplanes and just being able to fly something huge. But everybody has a different interest, and it's a lot of fun. Either way, you have to go through the same program, whether you're going to fly fighters or cargo. And a typical day for me is about 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's just like any other job. All you do is you fly in the air, and you're in a chair in the sky instead of a chair on the ground at a desk job. It's a very active job. I have to work out, got to stay in shape in order to handle the G-forces that affect your body. The helmet's heavy, so you got to make sure you have a strong neck and strong back. But most jobs you should be in good health for. You live longer because of it, so it's a good time. I absolutely love this job. It's so exciting. Every day is so different, and it's just so fun to be up in the sky and be with the clouds, and it's cool to see the world from this way. So I'm going to take you guys back into the Sims and show you guys what it looks like inside the cockpit of a T6. So stay tuned. Before I take you into the Sims, I just wanted to show you guys what the T6 actually looks like. So there it is out there on the flight line. As you can tell, it's not a very big plane, but it can do a lot for the size that it is. Alright guys, so this is what a simulator looks like for the T6. And this is the one that I'm in right now. And as you can see, there are a lot of buttons. But the cool thing about every airplane is that it has a button for a reason. And if you study really hard, you will know what each button is and why it is so important. So this can be done with one person with this special calculator looking item. Each button will allow it to push a button up here. Or you could do it with 2 people. And there's a lot of different things you can do. You can configure the aircraft into how much fuel you want it to have. You can choose the visual environment, how long you want the runway to be. What kind of plot, this will tell you if you have a good glide slope coming into the runway. And there's circuit breakers, so you can choose to pop one if you wanted to do an emergency. But we don't need to do that today. I will reset that. And there's all different kinds of things. You can freeze the aircraft in a certain spot. You can make all kinds of malfunctions and things like that happen to practice emergency procedures. So all of these things would be really bad if they happen. And you would click that, and then you would activate it if you wanted it to happen. And then the instrument repeater. So the instructor pilot who is grading the student can come up here and see what's going on. Right now I don't have it on, so that's why it says everything's failed. But once I turn it on, everything that I will be doing in here will be mirrored on the screen. So it's a really cool way to practice, and they make sure that we become proficient in the simulators, so that way when we're out there in the real world, we'll be able to do it as safely and as effectively as possible. Okay, so I'm in the cockpit right now. Everything is still off, and I have my checklist on my left hand and my in-flight guide on my right, and this tells me everything that I could ever possibly need to know about the location of where I'm going to different areas, what the airport is like next to me, how there's an airport right here, all kinds of things. And I know it looks kind of crazy and it doesn't make any sense to you, but you'll learn it pretty quickly actually. And then here I have all these emergency procedures, and let's say I need to I have an engine failure immediately after takeoff. I click on it, it takes me right to the checklist of what I'm supposed to do. And for my normal procedures, for my pre-flight check or my engine start, it'll tell me exactly what I'm supposed to do when I'm starting the engine. So it's a really useful tool, and we have these strapped to our legs in flight at all times in order to make sure that we know exactly what we're doing as safely as possible and as effectively as possible. So the equipment that I would normally be wearing while I'm in the airplane is 1, a helmet, 2, a mask to breathe special oxygen, because if you didn't know, we are in the air above 10,000 feet, and when you're above 10,000 feet, there is the risk of getting a hypoxia, and hypoxia is where not enough blood is getting into your circulation and your oxygen and everything, and there's a good chance you could pass out from not having enough oxygen and potentially even becoming incapacitated and crashing the airplane. And we don't want that, so we breathe special oxygen out of these hoses right here. And we even have an emergency oxygen that lasts about 10 minutes in case the whole main system fails. And that's also where you plug in your communications so you could hear each other through the radio. And then on the left side, you would have what's called your G-suit plugged into this hole right here. And what the G-suit does is when you're pulling a heavy turn, and kind of like when you're on a roller coaster, when you're pulling and you feel really heavy, that's what a G is. So if you go above 2 Gs, what happens is the G-suit, this thing right here, will automatically send a signal to the machine, and it will puff up your pants, and it'll feel like you're getting like a squeeze, really hard squeeze on your pants. And what it's doing is it's preventing the blood from leaving your head and helping you to avoid passing out. It's a really great tool that keeps you very safe. And then the last thing that we wear that's different than most airplanes is we wear a special harness that connects these risers to our bodies so we don't fly out of the plane. Another really cool feature about this airplane is it has an ejection handle, which is right here. And in the event that you need to eject from this airplane, you have to pull it straight up with 25 pounds of force, and it'll shoot you in the air at 16 Gs and up to 315 knots. And then the parachute will automatically deploy and bring you down. Hopefully you never have to use it, but it's really cool that we do, and it keeps us very, very safe. Okay, right now I only have my battery switch on, and I'm going to show you guys how to do an engine start. So here it goes. Visor down real clear. We close the canopy. Canopy's closed and latched. Lights out. There's no light telling us. And then we go into our navigation anti-collision lights. Go on. Now we advance the PCL to start ready position. Make sure that there is no PMU fail or status enunciators. We wait till it gets to the start ready position. There it is. We say prop clear, crew chief, fire bottle, no servicing, start ready, light still on, ready to start. Okay, good to go. Starter switch, auto reset. And right now, boost pump, ignition select, fuel flow. Okay, N1 and ITT are rising. There we go, starting to rise, hydraulic pressure's coming up. We get the first peak at 26% N1, first peak 646 ITT, and oil pressure's coming up. And then we wait for the second peak of N1 and ITT. All right, second peak, 738 degrees Celsius ITT. Good engine. So now we just wait for the N1 to get to 60. And if you can hear it, the simulated sounds in the simulator, it sounds like the engine started. So perfect. Engine is started. We're good to go. And that's how you start the engine in the T6. Okay, so now it says we're going 160 knots. We are level flight, but climbing at 10 degrees nose high. We are increasing our altitude. We are now at 9,000 feet, and we are climbing at 3,500 feet per minute. Our power settings are maxed out right now, but everything is in the green and white, so our engine's running just above my level flight altitude. I'm going about 2 degrees nose high, which is allowing me to fly at 200 knots and climb at about 1,000 feet per minute. If I wanted to fly level flight, all I would do is click this, couple forward, trim the nose down, and then just like that, now I'm flying at a level altitude. And my speed stays relatively the same. We also have virtual reality sims where you can practice all your patterns and ground references, and that's with these items right here. So I showed you guys what an IFT is. This is called an OFT, and it's one of the largest ones we have with the best graphics. It's got a 270-degree view, so you're able to see everything that's around you, and it is the simulator that you use when you're being graded by an instructor pilot. So it's a lot of fun, very detailed, high graphics. So this is how it looks once you go inside of the OFT. As you can tell, there's a big, large screen that allows you to have better graphics, and you really do feel like you're the center of attention. There's me in the airplane. I just got done with my sim, and it was a pretty good one, and just showing another video of what it looks like on the inside. So also, this is where all of our helmets, our G-suits, and our harnesses and everything stays. Whenever we step to the plane, we grab this and put it on, and then we head out on our way. And as you can tell, there's a lot of us. This is only one row out of 20, I believe. So yeah, lots of equipment. Another really cool thing we get to see is plenty of other aircraft that come onto the base. This is a video of an F-35 doing a low level on our base. Super cool. This is me with a picture of it. I got to talk to the pilot and everything, figure out how his life was. And I also got to take a picture of an A-10, which was really, really cool, as well as the F-15E Strike Eagle. And with that, I will leave you with one last motivational video of what it's like to be a U.S. Air Force pilot. Thank you for watching.
For just a second, think about your dream life. Imagine it. Feel it. Now come back and listen to what I'm about to say. You have the power to make all of that happen. It's probably going to take work and time, and most likely won't be easy, but it's there, waiting for you in your future if you choose to go get it. So what's your move?